What is up, YouTube? So today I want to talk a little bit about when HEX flips Ethereum. I do all the math. It's pretty obvious it's going to do it. So at the moment, I was at 20x and it will flip Ethereum. And I also did the math. How much would it take to make HEX move up to 1 cent? Last time I checked, it was $7 million. Up to 3 cents, or yeah, around 3 cents, it would take like 30 or 40 million dollars. It may sound like big sums, but it's not really. In the real world, it's not that much money. So for me, it seems pretty obvious that it's going to flip Ethereum. Now, it's very interesting because I'm not sure if you know about it, but me personally, I can only see 2 coins at the moment that I truly think is like good project, and that is HEX and DTC. The rest, I see scams everywhere, or I see nonsense. At least I see nonsense everywhere. So Telos, for example, last year was 26 cents. Now it's barely 2 cents. They have even changed their logo to some ugly thing. We can see centralized exchanges taking over DPoS, like Binance did with Steam. Nonsense. As I talked a little bit about in the past, DPoS has failed. I don't see it ever recover, at least not in its current form. So we're going to try the Avalon blockchain path here going forward. Bitcoin with digital gold has kind of failed, I would say, because it's only used by margin traders and BitMEX to wreck the cheaps. XRP, we're not seeing anything exciting going on there. So I mean, it seems like we're gonna have HEX as #1 crypto and DTC as #2 crypto, and then maybe top 3, or maybe on the third spot, maybe we're gonna have Ethereum. But I mean, I think it's important to like say this many times, like about the DPoS nonsense, like Steam and Hive. Yes, it has failed in its current form, and I don't see it ever recover. It's Hive, for example, around 30% of tokens is in centralized exchanges, or exchanges in general. So that's where majority of coins kind of are. May even be bigger. Most of tokens, and even those other coins, they are not even in proof of brain people's hands, like content creators, that Hive is supposed, like the Hive coins is supposed to go to proof of brain content, but almost none of the reward pool is going there. It's pretty insane. What else? So how is that going to change things when HEX flips Ethereum? It's going to be very interesting to see how this industry is going to adjust, because first we may even need new coin rank websites. I talked about Nomics. It's a little bit better than CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap, because it seems like CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap is bought by companies, that especially centralized exchanges, that is pushing their own agenda, and it's like people think, like we kind of learned a lot in crypto that big numbers can fool people easy. So for example, we probably shouldn't have this big market cap of Bitcoin when we know a lot of coins are lost. So they say 171 billion market cap, but we know like 4 or like 5 million coins are like permanently lost or something like that, which is like, okay, but then you shouldn't really list that high market cap. So we know that that's kind of fooling people, and you can ask, like, is that like super ethical? I don't think so. So maybe we see hexers or hexicans, maybe they build their own coin rank websites. It's going to be curious to kind of see how that develops. It's also very interesting with DTC, because we have a lot of HEX whales there that are also DTC whales. So it can kind of be interesting to see how that plays out, because that basically means we also have a video platform where content creators have at least 50% of the supply of the coins, and that it's a fair distribution. If you go to the DTC airdrop list, you can see it's I think it's almost like 2,000 pages or something like that. It's just like people, that's like the most fairest distribution ever of like coins in crypto. So it's going to be interesting to see kind of how that plays out over a period of 6 months to content creators. And it's just like going to be interesting. Like if you go back and check out the top coins in crypto 2016, there should be a utility coin up there in the top, because Steam was top 10 crypto in even top 5 crypto, I think, in 2016 for some time. So it seems like DTC should become a top 10 crypto, which is obviously very, very exciting. And that's a big bet that I'm doing. Mainly because, like, okay, if everything is like energy, okay, we have computing power with HEX, and then we do have like humans investing a lot of energy into creating quality content, quality videos with DTC. So DTC, I would say, in a way, is backed by human energy, that people are spending real energy at producing something that is of value for other people. So I started to do YouTube videos already 2007 on YouTube. So it seems like DTube is just a natural evolution to the next thing. We're kind of moving from horse to a racing car in how you can earn rewards. For example, I saw that PewDiePie average on a video, he earns like $21,000. Now, if DTC would be a top 10 crypto, a top DTuber would make more on a video with the DTC coin. If DTC coin is successful and becomes a top crypto, it would actually, they would earn more, DTubers would earn more than if they're up there at the top and get a lot of DTC coins on their post. They would earn more than a YouTuber like PewDiePie with 105 million. So PewDiePie has 105 million subscribers. So that's kind of cool, right? That the DTubers may be able to earn more than a top YouTuber, and that can happen very, very fast. So that's kind of cool, but we don't know how that's gonna play out. But it's like, it's math, it's numbers. We can look at exponential trends and see, well, it seems like these numbers are gonna be like huge, right? So I think a lot of people are gonna be surprised in crypto when they see that. So at the moment, a lot of people, they like to buy into a story. We have learned that. So we have some guys buying into the XRP narrative that they're going to take over all the liquidity and so on. We have the Cardano story with their papers and the academic papers, and they can kind of attract that kind of crowd. We have the EOS team, which thinks maybe they're doing something. We have the Tron team that likes kind of like gambling and kind of weirdness and kind of like game theory systems, but it's like, yeah, it feels like amateur game theory system compared to HEX, I would say, the HEX original smart contract. I see people playing around with these Tron things, and I don't think it's cool. I think the brand sucks. I tried some Tron things last year, 2019, and then now I see that now in 2020 they're not in operation anymore. So they said a lot of things in their paper, and that thing doesn't exist anymore. So I can't see consistency. Like, I see the talk a lot, but I don't see consistency. Kind of reminds me about Steam and why I'm not using Steam anymore. There's a lot of talk, but nothing is really happening. So we had a bunch of talk about smart media tokens and so on, and we had also a bunch of talks that the Steemit Inc. stake with the Ninja Mine coins, it should never vote. But the vote happened. So we hear a lot of talks, but then when we look at reality and we measure reality, we can see that it doesn't really add up, right? So much nonsense. And it seems like a lot of companies just are being hired to like do quick pages and do like a quick so-called white paper, and then like build a quick story, then collect some quick money, and then just leave. So what else? Stellar seems to be a lot of nonsense as well. Neo, I haven't seen anything. IOTA, nonsense. Compound, nonsense. It's like, it's not better than the HEX smart contract. Dogecoin, nonsense. Basic attention, nonsense. Like most of the top coins is just straight up nonsense, and they don't have a real community. It's just like lame, and it's just lame, right? Because none of these projects are consistent. One cool project that is consistent, where I can see that they're constantly doing something new, is Rare, for example, which is a French project where they're having real licenses with European football teams to be able to issue out these Ethereum Ethereum cars, like football cars, and you can buy them and sell them. And I see them innovating. I see that they actually have a functional fantasy football game card already up and running, and I appreciate that. Like I see that it's not nonsense. It's like I can actually see that they are like constantly innovating. Like the website, for example, now is a little bit better than like a month ago. So that's kind of cool. So I can see them doing stuff, and I can see that their product is working. But most of the stuff in crypto is not working. I mean, take all the ICOs and everything from 2017, almost nothing is here anymore. That's pretty shady, to be honest, like how so many things can just like go away, right? What more? Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to study it. Like the more the share price goes up, yeah, we know that the share price is gonna go up when people take profits in HEX. When that's kind of cool, right? So it's going to be very interesting to follow like how the public is going to react both to DTC and to HEX. I love to study human behavior, and it's fun to see how people like changes over time and see what succeeds and what fails in crypto. And it's also nice how we get this natural evolution away from DPoS in many ways. Like EOS, I already said it's 2018 on DTube that EOS kind of would fail, probably. And that's kind of what we're seeing. Like I'm not seeing anything cool happening with EOS. What more? Yeah, it's cool that we see this natural evolution to trustless interest with HEX. It's also cool how we're seeing an evolution away from YouTube and to DTube, where people have this community tokens. That's very, very cool, called DTC. And it's also very cool to see how that voting power system actually works amazing. So we are seeing an evolution. I think this 2020 end and 2021 may actually make a lot of people very, very happy for many, many reasons if you study a lot of things. And yeah, so it's going to be interesting to study it. It's going to be interesting to see how people react. Probably going to be a lot of people in denial when HEX pass Ethereum, because they may find out about that very late, because CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko, they both gatekeep and censor HEX still, which is kind of shady, to be honest. But yeah, so it's going to be cool to see when HEX flip Ethereum. I don't think people understand how fast, if you look at past data, how kind of fast HEX is kind of moving. And they don't understand how much less shares you get now compared to a couple of months ago. 96 million now, it was 100 million then. So, you know, that's just in a few months. Yeah, so that's what I want to talk a little bit about today. Exciting times in crypto, I would say. But a lot of people are going to be surprised when some of their projects, they realize, oh, it was pretty much nonsense and nothing is really going to happen. Have a great day. DTube.